One Piece chapter 1082 officially releases on May 8th. That's May 7th over here, with the scans actually being released really early to the point where it actually like threw me off. It threw me off because we were on a break this week because of Golden Week, I think, in Japan. But the scans still ended up coming out earlier. I thought they were gonna come out later, but so I didn't really bother checking on Twitter for it because I thought it would be later. So, but they ended up coming out very early. So, it took me a few days to read it to even notice because I didn't bother checking. But I finally read it, and I'm here to give my review and recap the events that transpired in the chapter. So let's get into it. The chapter is titled "Let's Go and Claim It." The chapter begins with the reveal that Vice Admiral T-Bone has been taken out, with the Marines not wanting to reveal any details on what happened to the public. And we see Sengoku and Suru discussing the situation, with them starting to realize that they're not safe. They also have targets. They have bounties now. The people they protect, they want the money. They want their head too. They have targets now, not just the pirates. So people are coming after them, with them revealing that this was the result of Cross Guild, with them stating that they are a real threat. They will lose their morale. This will weaken them, the Navy, the entire Navy. This could damage them immensely. And if they don't do something, they could be a real problem. And so this, with the mention of Cross Guild, we transition to them. Buggy specifically, who's congratulating the man who killed T-Bone. It was a man who he just wanted the money. He just wanted to get money for his family, who are starving. He's starving. He looks old. He just wanted the money. So Buggy made a deal and he took him out. Now, how the old man took him out, I am interested. I do want to know how that happened. He just wanted the money. So he wasn't even worried about everybody else. He just wanted the money to take care of his family. And while this is happening, the man leaves, and they revealed the crew, Buggy's crew, they made a ship for Cross Guild, and with Buggy as the figurehead, with Crocodile and Mihawk seeing this and taking him to the back room, the meeting room, for a meeting. It's funny seeing that. Basically, to Buggy's crew, at least, Buggy's the main man. Like Crocodile, Mihawk, that's his subordinates. They're under him. Little do they know, right? And so they take it back to the room, right? Obviously, we know what's really going on. Buggy's just his head is hung. Like, that's how bad it is. Bloody body's nowhere to be seen. Just head hanging. Like, it's really funny how fast he changes. Buggy's speech is also so polite now. Like, you see how he's speaking. Like, excuse me for being out of line. Like, it's crazy. Like, if only his crew knew. But let's get into what they talk about because it's very important. So let me so they have actual meeting though. They don't just beat up Buggy. They have an actual meeting. They reveal everything's going as planned. Everything's going as planned. The Navy is starting to see them as a serious threat. All of this is to have unparalleled influence. They want control. And they're not done yet though. The way to achieve this further is obtaining wealth and power, more wealth. With Buggy over here, him hanging on his head has him rethinking his whole life. He hears this is like, and he hears this is like, and he's like, is that all y'all want? Y'all pirates conducting these little schemes like that? While he's questioning them, he goes into him and Shanks, how they were both on Roger's crew and how they missed out on Laughtail. Circumstances prevented them from going. We saw that. Then we get a new flashback of them on the day Roger was killed, with them both wanting to set out. Shanks asked Buggy to be on his crew, Buggy turns it down. But now, fast forward to the present, Buggy is through the luckiest man in the world. He's he's an emperor on the same level as Shanks, according to the papers. He's on the same level as Shanks, in rank, because he's definitely not in power. But anyway, he's on the same level as Shanks now, saying that day he let go of his real dream, but now he wants to fulfill that dream, and he also wants to be king of the pirates. Why stop at just wealth and power? They can have everything they want. We can get everything. We can get the ultimate treasure, the One Piece. We can get that. We can. Why stop there? That's basically what he's saying. Like, why are we just looking at little stuff like that? We can have everything in the world. We can have it all. That's what he means. And to me, best moment of the chapter, very powerful moment. But let me get through the rest of the chapter before I get into that, my little spiel. So then we go to Kamabaka, where Sabo is revealed to be alive. He wasn't even on Lulusia. That's always gets me. Lulusia, when that was eradicated, he wasn't there. He reveals he wasn't there. So he made it out alive. And a bunch of citizens from there also make it out. Good. But he wasn't able to contact them. Because people would have listened in on him. Understandable. So that's why we didn't hear from him. And he also put up a signal. I have to go look back at that chapter. Maybe that's somewhere in there. I gotta go look back at that specific chapter. I think the translation note references it. There's a translation note in the chapter in the scans. I think it references that it was there. But all the revolutionaries, they greet him. They're happy he's back. Koala tackles him like, "You idiot! Why did you not let us know? Why didn't you tell us anything? We were worried he'd sick." Things like that. But basically, after all of that, he sits down with Dragon and Ivankov about what's been going on. Mukuma, and that goes into Sabo wanting to tell them what happened at the reverie at Marijwa. He's going to tell them everything, what really happened. So after how many years it's been since that reverie started? It started before Wano, so it started then, and now we're finally going to get what happened there. So big cliffhanger. We leave off on that. Chapter ends right there with Sabo beginning to tell them about it. And so basically, thoughts. This chapter was a build-up chapter. Basically, it's building up to stuff that's gonna happen. Bigger stuff that's gonna happen in the future with Cross Guild. Being identified. They're rising up, obviously, because they have big players on there. Mihawk, Crocodile. According to the papers, Buggy. According to the papers, right? But he's not really strong. He's not strong. I still love him. But this reveals. This builds them up. They're being built up, and the Navy is having problems. They've just been going through it. So now they have even more problems. They're having even more problems, and then the Cross Guild stuff. Buggy. To me, that's the best part of the chapter. Very powerful speech. I was tearing up reading it. Adding that to the long list of One Piece speeches. One Piece has no shortage of them. It always gets me. Best part. I loved it. And I'm happy to know that Sabo was revealed to be alive. We know Sabo wasn't going to die there. We know that wasn't going to happen. Let's be honest. One Piece just barely kills off people. We know Sabo's not going to die yet. I don't... all I know is we know he wasn't. I knew he wasn't going to die there. He's going to make it out. He wasn't even there. I think I mentioned that. Yeah. He reveals he wasn't even on the island. So overall, it was a build-up chapter. Soon we're going to get the big reveal of what happened there. I don't know if that'll be next chapter. One Piece, go into something else. It'll have a cliffhanger like this, and then the next chapter it will go into something flash. It will what's the word? It will transition to something completely different, and we'll get the answer like a few chapters down the line. Like this, the Sabo thing, like that happened like ooh, I don't know, like 10-ish chapters ago. Am I tripping? It was somewhere like that, right? 5-10 chapters ago, and now we're just seeing him. So it might we might see him. We might get the reveal later, or it might be next chapter. Who knows? We'll see. Spoilers for chapter 1083 should be out in a few days. It should be out in a few days, and I'll cover them when I see them. And overall, I really like the chapter. There's no real complaints. One Piece is peak. We're fine. We're in the final saga, so there's not gonna be really bad. There's not gonna be bad things to say for real until we get to like maybe like the final war. If I don't like what I'm seeing, if I don't like the fighting, that's gonna be just fighting, things like that, reveals, character moments, things like that, and the final war and stuff like that. So, but right now we're just getting build up, reveals, and that's what One Piece is great at, for real. Like that's the build up to things happening. One Piece is always good at, and I have no complaints at this chapter. I have no complaints for real. There's nothing really, I can't really think of anything wrong with it. So a good chapter, another good chapter, another great chapter. Peak. One Piece is peak. Nothing really. I can't think of anything wrong. But next chapter, 1083, should be out in a few days. This chapter is out officially May 8th, May 7th here in the U.S. So definitely read the official release. So yeah, I'll touch you on the spoilers for 1083 when I see them, when they come out. So see you then.